Hey everyone, how's it going here today? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing a movie review on Inside Out 2. Now, before I talk about Inside Out 2, I might as well talk about the first movie. So, Inside Out 1, I honestly do love the first Inside Out film. In my opinion, I think it's one of my favorite Pixar movies ever made. It's very emotional, very heartwarming, and honestly, the concept of Inside Out is honestly very brilliant in my opinion. Just having like emotions inside people's heads is honestly just such a brilliant concept in this film, and it's honestly just done so well. And now, 9 years later, we now have a sequel. Okay, so going into this film, I was kind of worried and excited at the same time because with this film, the thing with this film is that it was a Pixar sequel, and the thing with Pixar sequels is that they're something. They're not really like bad technically. Pixar sequels aren't technically bad, except like Cars 2, which we can agree is an absolute abomination and all that. But most Pixar sequels, like Incredibles 2, Finding Dory, and Toy Story 4, I feel like they just try to be as good as the original movie, but fail. The thing is like with Incredibles 2 is that even though it was a good movie, it definitely wasn't as good as the first one. I think the first movie was honestly way better. Same thing with Finding Dory. And Toy Story 4, again, it just felt like some cash grab in my opinion that really did not need to be needed. However, with Inside Out 2 though, that movie wasn't that at all. If anything, it was honestly as good as the first movie. Yeah, so as you can tell, I honestly really love this movie in my opinion. I think it was easily as good as the first movie in my opinion. First off, the animation is really good in this film. But of course, it's a Pixar film, and Pixar always will able to have very good animation in this film. But in this one, I like how they basically just mix up the animation styles in this film as well. And overall, and also all the new emotions like anxiety, envy, boredom, and embarrassment, they were all really good characters. But anxiety was definitely the best new character introduced, in my opinion. Her voice acting was very good. Don't know who voiced acted her, but she was still good overall. And honestly, I feel like the way this movie expanded the Inside Out universe more is honestly really amazing in my opinion, because in this movie Riley is now basically a teenager and she's going through that rough stage where puberty hits in, new emotions come in, all that. I think the way Pixar tackled that was honestly amazing, and it still was honestly just as emotional and more impactful than the first as well. And also, what I've noticed while watching Inside Out 2 is that this movie just didn't feel like it was a forced sequel, in my opinion. And Inside Out 2 actually feels like a movie that we actually needed from the start, a lot more than like Toy Story 4. Unlike this movie, Inside Out 2 actually feels like a movie put in with effort and not made just to make money. Because in this movie, you can tell there's definitely a lot of heart and honestly making into this film, and it was obviously made by people who actually gave a shit about about the first movie, and they made it as good as that movie. So yeah, honestly, overall, Inside Out 2 was honestly really good in my opinion. It was amazing. I feel like Pixar is definitely back in their prime form, to be honest, because especially with what Pixar is going through right now, they haven't really been in a good state, to be honest. But honestly, Inside Out 2 was honestly a huge return to form, to be honest, because Inside Out 2 just reminds me of like what Pixar movies used to be back then, and honestly just gives me that vibe. So yeah, to be honest, I feel like with Inside Out 2 does definitely prove that Pixar can make good sequels, and even make them as good as the first one. And yeah, sure, Toy Story does have some good sequels. Toy Story 2 and 3 are honestly really good, and they're honestly just as good as the first movie, and honestly Inside Out 2 is probably Pixar's best sequel they've made since like Toy Story 3. Just look at it. It definitely did a good job at expanding the universe a lot more. Great new characters, and overall just a perfect film in my opinion. Though, do I think we'll get more movies like Inside Out 2? Who knows? We might. You never know, really. So overall, Inside Out 2, a masterpiece, an amazing movie in my opinion. Probably Pixar's best film and best sequel they've ever made, in my opinion. Is it as good as Toy Story 2 and 3? Maybe. But all I can say is that it is way better than the first one overall. Okay, so I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10. Perfect. Amazing. Well, that's all for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed my review on this film. If you did, please like, subscribe, and see you guys next time.